position in the Limited Sportsman main event. Assistant starter Junior Niles and flags for heat number 1. He gives the riders the all clear. Points to turn number 4. Green is out. Heath Lovejoy from the inside with a slight advantage. Bob Doak trying to draw it even from the outside. Jackie Roussel quickly out into that third groove, not where he wants to be. Kurt Bean sideways out of turn number 4, does a nice job of correcting it. Continues to be Heath Lovejoy, your leader, followed by Bob Doak in the 33, Jeff Charland in the 62, Ed Gallant in 4th place. Then a side-by-side battle for position number 5. Alan Burby in the number 50 on the low side takes it over. That drops Kurt Bean back to position number 6. Heath Lovejoy, already a feature winner here in his rookie year in the Limited Sportsman division. We have had 18 different feature winners in this highly competitive Limited Sportsman division. Heath Lovejoy was a feature winner back in July, the last week in July. One of many outstanding rookies in this division. All kinds of pressure now for position number 4. Ed Gallant holds it by a fender over Alan Burby, who has challenged on the outside. Bob Doak continues to challenge race leader Keith Lovejoy. Side-by-side battle back at about position number 7 or 8. Finds David Wiles in a side-by-side duel with Gary Adams. Gary Adams, Donnie Whitten, and Wayne Poland working the outside, as is Ed Gallant. Kind of the hard way to go early in the day. Ed Gallant sideways out of turn number 4. Starter indicates halfway point coming up. It will be 8 down, 7 to go. Three-way battle now for that 3rd and 4th place position. Alan Burby continues his march up the outside, working to the outside of Jeff Charland. Meanwhile, back up front, Bob Doak takes a look to the outside of race leader Keith Lovejoy. Cars in the outside groove finding it tough going here in this first qualifier. Ed Gallant has slipped back out of the top half dozen or so. Donnie Whitten continues his challenge to the outside as he works to the outside of Gary Adams in the number 74. Donnie Whitten on the move from the next to the last starting position in this qualifier. Youngster who has just started his college career at the University of Maine, Orono. Making the trip back down home to compete on these last few weekends of racing. Donnie Whitten on the move. Now Kurt Bean has also moved into the outside groove. Top 3 have broken away. Perhaps the fastest car may well be that of Alan Burby as he has closed the gap considerably. Up now to challenge the leaders, but time is winding down. It will be just 2 to go, indicates starter Junior Niles. Keith Lovejoy trying to take it wire to wire. Heat number 1 for the Limited Sportsman. White flag is out. 1 to go. Challenge is for the 4th place position held by Kurt Bean. A challenge from Donnie Whitten in this last lap. Checkered flag in the air. Keith Lovejoy, Bob Doak, Alan Burby, Kurt Bean, and Donnie Whitten, the top 5. just the correct number of cars. And here's your winner of heat number 1 out of Lyman, Maine, driving the Bragg's Auto Repair Conquest number 03 rookie Keith Lovejoy. I mentioned earlier, then comes Russ Johnson in the 19, Tim Wing in the 92. Ken McLeod this afternoon in the number 12. The 4 is driven by Lloyd Washburn. The 24, Rex Garrett. The 94, Frank Sweeney. And Rocky Yargo in the 65. Green is out. Slow start on a turn 4, Jeff Salibi. Russ Johnson right up the inside. Takes over position number 3. Steve Wilson trying to mount a challenge to the outside of race leader Jeff Salibi. Can't get up there. Here comes Russ Johnson. Johnson up to the runner-up position quickly in 1 lap. Ken McLeod this afternoon once again behind the wheel of the number 12. Ken McLeod was the 1991 track champion in this Super Sportsman division in its first year. Challenge at the front now. Russ Johnson takes it to the outside of the number 40. Puts a fender ahead between turns 3 and 4. Here they come out of turn 4. Russ Johnson's going to take it over. Cars tangle in turn number 1, the 99. Steve Wilson is turned about in a tangle there with Ed Strong. Gets the car refired and the field stays green. Your leader followed by Jeff Salibi in the 2nd place position. Then comes Ed Strong. Ken McLeod once again in the number 12 running 4th. They are coming to the halfway point. 5 down, 5 to go. In the number 65, just I believe his 2nd time out with that car. Engine problems, his first attempt to compete in all new Super Sportsman. Rocky Yargo out from the Limited Sportsman division a year ago. Flagman Eddie Walsh indicates it will be just 2 to go, this time by Russ Johnson. Once again, an impressive heat run as he continues to put distance on Jeff Salibi and Ed Strong. Now in a bumper-to-bumper battle for that 2nd place position. White flag is out. Russ Johnson by himself at the front. Jeff Salibi holding off a lot of pressure from the number 10 and Ed Strong. The 12th, Ken McLeod goes 4th, and challenge now for that 5th place position. Darrell Ward in the number 80. Dave Bath in the 5. Checkered flag is down. Russ Johnson, Jeff Salibi, Ed Strong, Ken McLeod. And at the wire it looked like Dave Bath. But we'll have to wait for the official call on that 5th place position. Is your winner of heat number 1 in the Super Sportsman division from Hollis, Maine, in the Johnson's Garage number 19, Russ Johnson. Mike Grobo's number 14 and Scott Mulkern's number 79. Evidently not going to make it. Looking for a stop out of turn number 4, and the green is out. Scott Watts from the outside brings young Mike Mayetta with him as the outside lane gets the jump. Scott Watts, former modified competitor, but actually a rookie in the late model sportsman division. Tim Land challenging for that 3rd place position as he goes to the outside of Craig Strout in the number 7. Then comes Don Brown Jim Brown in the number 04. Jim Brown, veteran competitor here at the Speedway for many years, but has only made several appearances in 1992. Virginia. A lot of pressure now to race leader Scott Watts as he looks for room beneath the F80. Now the turn number 4. Couldn't quite find it. Former track champion here at the Beech Ridge Motor Speedway, Bobby Gahan, making what I believe is his first appearance in 1992 aboard the number 50. Scott Watts in the F80, followed by Tim Land. Craig Strout goes third, but Tom Oliver now mounting a challenge for that third place position and getting it hand. Flagman indicates just 2 laps to go. Modified competitors going to be going ahead. Door handle in a moment. That's Tom Oliver in the number 63, Bobby Gahan in the number 50. All kinds of pressure for rookie Craig Strout now as he has the veteran Bob Gahan to his outside and Tommy Oliver at the back. The white flag is down, 1 to go. Out of turn 4, Scott Watts will see the checkered flag come down as he captures heat number 1, followed by Tim Land, Craig Strout, and Tom Oliver. Heat number 1 for the late models. It is the winner of heat number 1 in the late model sportsman ranks out of Seabrook, New Hampshire, driving the Lloyd Perkins Insurance number F80, Scott Watts.
Outside Parentoni from Graniteville, Vermont, Napoleonic Corvo, Chevrolet Lance Furno in car number 31. One of the great veterans of this sportsman division, car number 1, Red Mead in the Ford Thunderbird will start third. Outside from Alburn, Vermont, car number 42, Tony Poisson. The number 34 machine, Dennis Alderman, starts inside of row 3. Outside Alderman, car number 57, and Jimmy Barton. Jeff LeCaire, in car number 16. The Ford will go on the inside of the next row, alongside Stormin Norman Andrews in car number 2. The 69, Rupert Irwin, and car number 0, Brent Dragon. Field is set. 10 laps. Keep an eye on the back of the pack. Car number 0, Brent Dragon, son of American Canadian Tour former champion Harmon Beaver Dragon. One of the top drivers in this late model sportsman division will have to come out of the back of the pack, and he's got a long way to go. One car in trouble on the front straightaway. The 34 machine of Dennis Alderman gets it back on course. At the front, Jay Parentoni. Rookie driver picked up his first career victory just a couple of weeks ago at Thunder Road. Right behind the 31, Lance Furno. Red Mead in car number 1. Top 4 drivers advance on to the semi-feature later on today for a shot at the pole position. Jay Parentoni, Lance Furno, Red Mead, and on the inside, 57. Jimmy Martin on the inside takes away the 4th spot. That 57 Pontiac, built by former American Canadian Tour champion Robbie Crouch during the offseason. Jim Barton, a 30-year racing veteran in the state of Vermont, now holds the number 4 qualified spot. 05, Jay Parentoni, the Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet, down the back straightaway. We'll look for the halfway flags this time. 5 down, 5 to go in heat number 1 for the American Canadian Tour late model sportsman drivers. 34, Alderman again out of shape here on the front straightaway. He's got himself a flat left rear tire at the very least as he tries to chase it back on the pit road. That car rolling to a stop at the top of turn number 1, and we're going to see the yellow flag on the speedway. Caution flag out for the 34 of Dennis Alderman as he cuts down the left rear tire. Red Mead in the 1, the 57 Jimmy Barton. top 4 drivers advance on into the semi-feature for a shot at the pole position this afternoon. Pace car coming in on the back straightaway. We're set to go back to green. Perantoni on the inside. Lansford on the outside. Green flag is out and they're away in turn 1. Red Mead down to the inside, looking to steal the number 2 spot in car number 1. Red Mead down low. The Ford Thunderbird taking the runner-up position away. Lance Furno in the 31. Drop kick back to third. Fourth on the outside. 57. Barton on the move now. Keep an eye on the 0. Brent Dragon out of the back of the pack now. Dragon in the 0. 1 spot out of the money as we'll have 2 laps to go this time. Spot to the semi. 05. Perantoni takes the white flag with 1 to go. Red Mead, the veteran, on his back bumper, working him hard out of turn 2. Perantoni in the Chevrolet. Mead in the Ford. Lance Furno. Jimmy Barton, and here comes Brent Dragon up the outside. Checkered flag coming out. Jay Perantoni, your winner. Red Mead second. Lance Furno and Jim Barton, the Ford qualifiers from heat number 1. So a good run for the youngster, Jay Perantoni, as he holds off veteran Red Mead to take the checkered flag in heat number 1. The 31 of Lance Furno comes home in third. Fourth and final qualifier, 57, Jim Barton. Outside, the number 6 for Bill Barkham. Keep an eye on the inside of row number 4. Defending late Model Sportsman International Series champion and 2-time track champion at Airborne International Raceway in New York. Car number 00 from New Haven, Vermont, Steve Miller in the County Tire Pontiac. Outside Miller to go in the number 8 position. Car number 49 from Morrisville, Vermont, Mark Lanphier. Then at the back of the pack, car number 14, also from Morrisville, Vermont, Phil Scott in the number 14 car. And at the back of the pack, Mopar fans, here's the man to watch today, car number 46. That is Doug Hoare from Colchester, Vermont. Field is set. 10 laps to go. The top 4 to the semi-feature. Heat 2 is under the green flag. Peter Fecto on the inside in the Pontiac. Dan Bridges topside in the Ford. Bridges in the 9 takes the lead on the back straightaway. Danny Bridges, former Vermont Milk Bowl champion on the high side, has the lead at the start-finish line. Fecto dropped back in a second spot. Third is the 92 of Chris Durkee. Fourth, 68, Jim Silly. And out of the back, 00, Steve Miller beginning to roll now. 68, Silly. 00, Miller. Both near the top of the point standings in this late model sportsman division, beginning to make their way to the front of the field now. 68, Jim Silly to the outside of Chris Durkee for the number 3 spot. He's got it in turn 3. Durkee in the 92, now the final qualifier, trying to hold off Steve Miller. Miller in the 00, going to the outside. Right behind him, the 14 of Phil Scott. The heavy hitters coming to the front in a hurry here in heat number 2. Miller on the outside. 00 takes over the number 4 spot. At the front, it is all Danny Bridges. Car number 9, your leader. Second to the 75, Pete Fecto. Jim Silly. 00, Steve Miller. The 4 qualifiers as we're halfway done this time. 5 down, 5 to go. The battle now for second place on the back straightaway. Peter Fecto in the 75, trying to hold off Jim Silly. Miller going high in the 00, has to backpedal it. Racing nose to tail for the number 2 position on the back straightaway. Jim Silly going to the outside. The 68 trying to move up now. Silly in the Oldsmobile puts it wheel to wheel on the high side. Steve Miller in the 00 fills the hole downstairs. Phil Scott in the 14 moving into it now. 2 laps to go this time. The battle for the number 2 spot. Danny Bridges out in front by a comfortable margin. 75, Fecto is second. Steve Miller in the 00. 68, Jim Silly now trapped up high and going backwards in turn 2. is the Peru, New York driver. Had it all locked up on the final lap, but I think the motor has gone away on car number 9. What a heartbreaker for the... A feature winner this year, as is the 40 of Dwayne Lanphier and the 27 of Greg Blake. We've got a quality field from front to back in heat number 3 as they will go at it for the 4 qualified positions to the semi. Pace car is set to come in and we're ready to go racing. Mark Graves down low in the 4, Dennis Demers top side in the Chevrolet. Down to the line they come. The green flag is out and heat 3 is away. 47, Mark Graves, inside line is your leader down the back straightaway. George Bassett in the 39, filling the hole to the inside of Dennis Demers for the number 2 spot. Sideways out of 4 as they race for it. Leading on each other, bouncing and grinding third 1 and 2. 39, Bassett on the inside for second. Look out, they are leading on each other in the corners. Bassett fights his way through in the Pontiac. Dennis Demers, dirt tracking it through the corners. The 86 now going backwards on the outside lane. 25, Dave Whitcomb down low for the number 3 spot. 27, Greg Blake running the low groove looking for 4th place now. Blake down low trying to take away the final spot. Demers tries to shut the door. Nobody home as Blake goes through on the inside. Dennis Demers, the outside pole sitter, now dropping back out of the top 5 in turn 4. Wayne Lanphier drives underneath him in the 40. Tom Tiller, 77. Demers slams the door and finally gets it back in line. Up to the outside, George Bassett in the 39, now looking for the lead. 5 down, 5 to go this time. George Bassett took a look to the outside and now may pay the price as Dave Whitcomb is underneath on the back straightaway. Bassett coming back for the lead now. Mark Graves in the 47 Ford. Bassett top side in the 39. Dave Whitcomb and the 27. Greg Blake, the final qualifier. 27, Blake the man on the bubble. George Bassett up high in the Pontiac. All kinds of horsepower. Has the lead in turn 4. Bassett takes it over at the line. Mark Graves in the 47 now drops back to second on the outside. Here comes David Whitcomb. Graves beginning to fade now. The 47 shutting down on the inside. Whitcomb is around for second. Blake on the outside third, and here comes Dwayne Lanphier in the 40. Look out, Dean Gallison pops the cork in the 35. Gallison down pit road. Out of it as the white flag is coming out. 1 to go. It's George Bassett, Dave Whitcomb, Greg Blake, and Dwayne Lanphier on the outside. Bassett in the 39, out of turn 4, looking for the checkered flag. 39, Bassett your winner. Dave Whitcomb second, Greg Blake third. Dwayne Lanphier in the 40 takes the final spot. Good racing at the front of the pack.
Row 5 on the inside. Last week's feature winner, Dave Langlis in the number 93. To his outside, Ken McLeod in the number 30. Row 6, the number 61 is driven by Gordon Nelson. The 78, Dave Facto. The 37 is driven by defending champion of this division, Larry Gelinas. The 24, Danny Bubar. The 94 is driven by Dennis Hall. And current point leader, Pee Wee Knight in the 111. 15 laps on tap. Flagman Eddie Walsh has given the drivers the all clear. He points to turn number 4. We look for a start out of turn 4. We have it. Side by side, Ryan Shepard on the low side. Jeff Severance to his outside. Here comes Thompson up the inside. 3 wide. They do it down the backstretch. Tight racing. 3 wide through turns 3 and 4. Thompson comes out on top in the number 6, followed by Mike Field. Battle for third. Steve Berry with the advantage on the low side. Then comes Jeff Severance and Ryan Shepard. Scramble at the front, 3 wide racing, and somehow they make it work. These are your High Point Limited Sportsman drivers. Steve Berry on the move on the outside as he is up now to challenge Mike Field for that second place position. Steve Berry puts a fender ahead for position number 2 as they race through turns number 4. Steve Berry now going to challenge race leader Bill Thompson at the front. Thompson, a veteran of limited sportsman action. Steve Berry, a rookie in the number 7, already a feature winner in his rookie season. Looks for racing room outside of the number 6 of Thompson. Steve Berry draws it even as they race to turn number 3. Thompson with the advantage at turn 4. Youngster not going to give it up on the outside. Steve Berry continues to press hard. Draws it even once again as they race to turn number 3. And once again, Thompson puts a fender ahead out of turn number 4. Steve Berry. Thompson a winner our second week of racing. Steve Berry a feature winner at the end of the month of May. Shaping up as a 4-way battle at the front. Continues to be Bill Thompson, the leader, in the number 6. Steve Berry in the number 7. Mike Field in the 88. Dave Langless, last week's feature winner, in the number 93. As the top 4 are broken away, then comes De Facto in the 5th place position. Dennis Hall in the number 94, and Gordon Nelson in the number 61. Your top half dozen. Steve Berry once again will mount a challenge and draw it even at turn 3. Turn 3 seems to be a strong corner for the number 7. Turn 4, a strong corner for Thompson's number 6. Now they go at it side by side out of turn 2 and down the backstretch. Steve Berry puts a fender ahead at turn 3. Thompson right back to take it over at turn 4. 2 laps to go. Steve Berry going to try it once again as he puts a fender ahead down to turn 3. Thompson right back, draws it even and takes it over out of turn 4. The white flag is out. Bumper to bumper, wheel to wheel racing for the top 6 positions. Steve Berry once again puts a fender ahead. They go side by side through turn 4. Checkered flag is out. Bill Thompson and Steve Berry side by side across the line. Too close to call. We'll let the scoring take care of that. They were followed by Mike Field, Dave Langless, and Dave Facto. From the outside is your winner in the fan-sponsored number 7, along with the Scarborough Auto Parts youngster out of Gorham, Maine, young Steve Berry, winner of heat number 2 in the limited sportsman division. Row 3 on the inside. The 93 is driven by Danny Palmer. The 14 to his outside, Chris Rule. Row 4 to the inside. inside, Steve Howard in the 03. Doug Shores, 5-time winner in the 07. Row 4, Spike Manitoul back with the number 89. Richard Bubba Pelton in the number 27. The back row, Willie Elliott in the 08. And point leader, Kevin Durgan in the number 7. A couple of cars out just trying the cars. At turn 4, green is out. Gary Clough with the advantage as they race to turn number 1. Dave Sprague to second. Side-by-side battle for third. Danny Palmer with the advantage on the low side. Phil Weeks up high. Continues to be Gary Clough at the point, followed by Dave Sprague. Spin in between turns 3 and 4. Jim Emerson, Phil Weeks, and Chris Rule get together. And that leaves Jim Emerson facing traffic. He gets the car refired, and the field stays green. Tough break for Emerson in the number 2. Meanwhile, back up front, Gary Clough in the 0 with all kinds of pressure now from Dave Sprague in the number 1. Danny Palmer in the 93, and here comes Steve Howard in the 03. Jimmy Emerson trying to limp the number 2 back onto pit road. Damage to the left rear. Halfway point, says flagman Eddie Walsh. 5 down, 5 to go. Man on the move, Steve Howard. Spin in turn number 1. Spike Manitoul involved there, along with the 08 Willie Elliott. Several other cars take evasive action, among them Richard Pelton in the number 27, and that brings out the caution flag. So terrific savings coming up next week at the Souvenir Trailer. But right now, flagman Eddie Walsh says we're ready to get it back to green flag racing. At turn 4, green is out. Gary Clough once again from the point will show the way. Battle for second. Steve Howard on the low side. Dave Sprague to his outside. Then comes Doug Shores in a side-by-side battle with Danny Palmer. Smoke from one of the cars, a little difficult to tell which one it is. Tire smoke, evidently from the 07, it would appear. From that altercation in the turn 1 area, that the fender may be down on the right front of the 07. The lone Ford in the field. That's 5-time winner Doug Shores in the 3rd place position. Smoke from his right front tire. Flagman Eddie Walsh says just 2 to go this time by. And a challenge now for the leader, Gary Clough, has Steve Howard to his outside, and they go side by side down into turn number 1. Doug Shores looks for racing room down low, can't find it. Steve Howard puts a fender ahead at turn 3. They go side by side, wheel to wheel out of turn 4. White flag is down. Steve Howard by a bumper as they cross the stripe. They go side by side through turns 1 and 2 down the backstretch. Howard with a fender ahead in the 03 from the outside. At turn 4 with a checkered flag in the air, Steve Howard sideways takes it over Gary Clough. Then comes Doug Shores, Bubba Pelton, and Dave Sprague. Slow start out of turn 4, we have a green. Bobby Babb, Gary Johnson go side by side down the backstretch. Johnson with a slight advantage as they race through turns 3. Out of turn number 4, cars scatter. Mike Mayetta takes it out over the top of turn number 4, keeps it going. We stay green. Battle continues at the front. Bobby Babb in the number 4, Gary Johnson in the 53. Bobby Babb with the advantage down low. Johnson continues to challenge from the outside. Joe Bowser goes to 3rd position. Side-by-side battle for 4th. Barry Babb on the low side. Gary Pulsifer on the outside. seconds. All kinds of pressure from Joe Bowser to the low side, Gary Johnson to the high side. Once again, these are your late model high point men. The opportunity to see these cars go head to head with the touring American Canadian Tour cars. Spin on the low side, starting down the backstretch. Spin is by the number 14 of Mike Grovo. That will put the cars under caution. My first time out, the 1992 season, trying to work the kinks out of that new car. Get the car all apart on pit road, and the crew did well to get that back together. They had the drive shaft out of it and a whole lot of other things. 8 laps recorded on the leaderboard, be 2 to go. Bobby Babb on the pole in the number 4, Gary Johnson in the number 53 to his outside. Outside lane decides to set the pace, and that will of course mean a false start, and of course these drivers know that. All clear once again. Flagman Eddie Welch points to turn number 4. This time Bobby Babb picks it up a little bit. Green is out. Gary Johnson down on the low side. Babb sideways out of turn number 2. Now Babb takes it down to the low side. Takes it back over out of turn number 4. Almost like a game there for a moment or two. Gary Johnson sideways up against the backstretch wall. Here that something might have come apart in the suspension. Checkered flag is down. Bobby Babb grabs heat number 2, followed by Gary Pulsifer, Joe Bowser, Glenn Cusack, and I believe Mike Johnson. For a start out of turn number 4. Green is out. Tim Marzilli will show the way from the pole. Again, that's the 89 for his schedule. To position number 2. He looks for room beneath the number 11 and will find it down to turn number 3. 3 wide racing through turns 3 to turn 4. For his schedule, the number 89 will take over the point position. Hughes in the number 57 races to position 2. Dennis Featherson in the number 4 brings it to position 3. Then comes Larry Vos in the number 67. And Viva Norton rounds out the top 5. On the move in the number 67 as he works to the outside of Dennis Featherson in the number 4. Takes a look now to the outside of Rod Hughes in the number 57 with a bid for the runner-up position. Out of turn number 2 on the backstretch, Larry Vos will take it over, followed by Beaver Norton, who takes it to 3rd. Quickly looks to the inside of the Vos machine. Even Norton closing in on race leader Chris Schedule. Even Norton now to the inside of the number 67. All kinds of pressure for race leader Chris Schedule now. Beaver Norton on the low side finds room beneath the number 89, takes over the point as they race through turns number 1 to turn 2. Larry Vos looking to follow suit as he drops to the low side of the number 89. Battle is for second. Larry Vos will take it over out of turn number 4, brings the 67 to position number 2. That drops Chris Schedule back to third. Dennis Featherson goes fourth. And Rod Hughes is in the 5th place position. Starter indicates the halfway point as they cross the stripe this time. Suspension broken on the front of the number 11 as he takes it down across the track. Looked like the left front wheel was twisted right around on that number 11. He elects to keep it on the speedway. Even Norton, your leader in the number 38. About a 5-car length lead over Larry Vos. Then comes Dennis Featherson in the number 4. The 89, Chris Schedule, and Rod Hughes in the number 57. For the top 5, Dave Jackson now. And Willie Boucher challenging for that 5th place position. Willie Boucher to the high side, the number 14. Caution flag will prevail. In the number 54, sits to the low side of turn number 2, just entering turn number 2. Gets the car refired and will rejoin the lineup. But right now, we're ready to get back to green flag racing. Out of turn 4, the green is out. Larry Vos takes it over from the pole position. Right up the inside comes Dennis Featherson, the number 4, to position number 2. Willie Boucher to third in the number 14. Dave Jackson is 4th in the number 98. White flag is out, 1 lap to go. Battle is for second. Checkered flag in the air. Larry Vos, Dennis Featherson, Willie Boucher, Dave Jackson, and Scott Johnson. Limited Sportsman semi-feature.
Dwayne Lanphier in the 40 and the 39 of George Bissett. Steve Miller in the 00. Pontiac, the 68 from Groton, Vermont is Jim Silly. Redmead in car number 1, the 25, Dave Whitcomb. And on the rear, car number 05 and Jay Parentoni. Once again, just 11 cars this afternoon in the semi-feature is Dan Bridges. That car on the jack stands as they attempt to make repairs. Winner of this semi-feature starts on the pole for segment number 1 of our International Series event here this afternoon. Second place finisher starts second all the way back through the front 6 rows. A very unique feature here this afternoon. 25 laps. And then the checkered flag. The winner will get 1 point for the win. Second will get 2 points. They'll reverse the field and run another 25 with the lowest point total of the day earning the overall win. Green flag is out. And the late model sportsman semi-feature is under the green flag. Lance Furno down the back straightaway. Car number 31 is your early leader. Back on the outside, the 57 of Jim Barton. Dwayne Lanphier sideways in the 40, gathers it up in turn 3. 31, Lance Furno. 57, Jim Barton through on the outside. Lanphier is in trouble, car number 40. Dwayne Lanphier, the former track champion at Thunder Road Speedball, off the pace. Yellow flag is up. Lanphier laying down fluid. 40. Field set. Furno on the inside. Jimmy Martin on the outside as the field goes green and they're back underway. Once again, the youngster gets the break down low. 31, Lance Furno by half a car length, your leader. 27, Greg Blake looking to make some room on the outside. Jim Barton trying to hold on to the high line as Pete Fecto in the 75 moves underneath him in turn 2. Side by side racing all the way through the pack. 57, Barton on the high side, now the second place car. Keep an eye on the 27. Greg Blake now with some room to work. Greg Berger Blake in the 27, working the outside line for the number 3 position now. Steve Miller in the 00, right behind him. The 2 former track champions fighting their way to the front. On the outside, 27, Greg Blake now 3rd, Miller in the 00, going high for the 4th spot. Jim Barton in the 57, fighting his way to the inside for the lead in turn number 1. Lance Furno pushing high in the 31. Barton down on the inside, trying to move up on the back straightaway. Furno shuts him down. The 31 drifting high once again. Barton fills the hole. He's alongside into turn 1. Jimmy Barton in the 57, new leader on the back straightaway. Barton takes it over. Greg Blake in the 27 down to the inside, taking 2nd away. The youngster Lance Furno out of it at the top of 4, going all the way to the back of the pack. Problems on the 31 of Furno as he goes all the way to the back of the field. Halfway done this time, and it is a 3-man dance at the front of the field. 57, Jim Barton. Blake in the 27, down to the inside, Steve Miller moving now. Miller from the back of the pack, now 2nd in the 00 Pontiac. Jim Barton and Steve Miller now lead the way. Miller going to the outside for the lead in turn 1. Steve Miller, the 2-time Airborne Raceway champion, getting it done on the outside. Miller pulling alongside in turn 3. Steve Miller puts the nose up, can't get it at the line as Barton holds him off one more time. 3 cars under a blanket on the back chute. Jimmy Barton in the 57. Steve Miller in the 00. Greg Blake, 27. Anybody's ball game. At the line this time, it's Miller with the nose in front. Steve Miller, rim rides on the outside, pulls away down the back chute. He's got the lead now. 00 Miller out in front, looking to lock up the pole. 57, Jim Barton is 2nd. 3rd, the 27 of Berger Blake. Jim Silly, the 68 is 4th. Jay Parentoni from dead last on the field now 5th in the 05. 2 laps to go now. 2 to go for Stevie Miller. Down the back straightaway, they'll look for the white flag this time. Pontiacs running 1 and 2. Miller in the lead. Jim Barton 2nd. Greg Blake 3rd. White flag out with 1 to go. Final time down the back straightaway from the back of the pack. A strong run in the semi-feature, earning the pole for the main event. Steve Miller in the 00. Jim Barton 2nd. Greg Blake 3rd. Jim Silly, Jay Parentoni, Dave Whitcomb, Peter Fecto, and George Bissett.
We have the all clear from our officials. Ladies and gentlemen, on the count of 3, please help me with those 4 most famous words in auto racing. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Gentlemen, start your engines. this time as the cars approach the front stretch. Flagman Eddie Welch will ask the drivers to tighten the lineup. Shows them the clenched green flag. Front row occupied by a couple of newcomers to Super Sportsman competition. Rookie Jeff Salibi in the number 40 up and coming. Rookie driver to his outside. Returning to racing, Steve Wilson in the number 99. Flagman Eddie Welch gives the drivers the all clear as they stage on the backstretch. Pace car makes its way onto the infield pit road. We looked for a start out of turn number 4. Green is out. Jeff Salibi by himself as he gets the jump from the pole position. 80 goes sideways through turns 1 and 2 and gets the car. And also collected there the point leader, Kevin Durkin in the number 7, along with Ken McLeod in the number 12. And that will quickly put the cars under caution before they are able to complete their first lap of racing. Now the all clear once again from Flagman Eddie Welch as the cars stage on the backstretch, make one final glance back to the flag stand. Pace car will make its way onto the infield pit road. Flagman points to turn number 4. At turn 4, the green is out. Once again, Jeff Salibi with a jump from the pole position. Brings Ed Strong with him right up to the runner-up position. Steve Wilson trying to recover on the outside, take it back to that 3rd place position. Now finds himself in a battle with Dave Bath for position number 3. Then Gary Clough, Tim Maloney, Jim Emerson, all in side-by-side battles. Advantage to that inside lane. Dave Bath has made his way to the outside and now will mount a challenge for that 2nd place position. Dave Bath in the number 5 trying to rein in Ed Strong in the number 10. 3 wide racing on the backstretch. Continues to be rookie Jeff Salibi showing the way, followed by another rookie, Ed Strong, in the number 10. Dave Bath pressing hard on the outside as he attempts to overtake Ed Strong for that runner-up position. But it continues to be Ed Strong in the 2nd place position. Dave Bath draws it even down the backstretch into turn number 3. They go side by side through turn 4. Battle waged for the 2nd place position. Gary Clough goes 4th in a side-by-side battle. Chris Rule working to the outside. Jim Emerson on the low side. Smoke pours from the left rear of the 07 of Doug Shores. Something down on the left front suspension as the smoke continues to pour from the 07. Appears that the wheel is twisted to the left. And Doug Shores in trouble now with the 07 as cars try to climb by one way or the other. And Doug Shores forced on a pit road and a tough break for the young Ford driver. Meanwhile, back up front, lead in the hands of Dave Bath with a nice move from the outside. He brings Chris Rule along with him. Then comes the number 27 now, trying to take over that 3rd place position. Dave Bath looking for his first main event in this division in 1992, out to a solid lead over Chris Rule. Rule has a lot of pressure from Pelton in the number 27. Chris Rule for that runner-up position. Takes a look to the outside. Problems on the number 89 of Spike Malatow as he is off the pace and appears to be headed back to pit road. Battle continues to be waged for the second place position. Chris Rule holding off Richard Pelton. Then comes Ed Strong and Jeff Salibi. Rounds out the top five, but Jim Emerson up to pressure now for that fifth place position. Cars working in lap number 16. Your leader is Dave Bath in the number 5. Then comes Chris Rule in the 14. Richard Pelton in the 27. Ed Strong in the number 10. Jeff Salibi in the number 40. Pressure mounting for that fifth place position as Jim Emerson works to the outside now of the number 40 of Jeff Salibi. And Gary Clough is at the back bumper. Russ Johnson getting into pressure now for that fifth place position. And it is a four-car battle. Phil Weeks with an axle coming out of the number 9. Appears to be now getting the car on the pit road. Tough break for last week's Super Sportsman feature winner, Phil Weeks, now on pit road. And that four-car battle continues for the fifth place position. Gary Clough now puts a fender ahead on the backstretch as he works to the outside of Jeff Salibi. Jim Emerson following suit on the outside. Russ Johnson looking for racing room down low. Spin by the 99 of Steve Wilson. He gets the car turned about as he enters turn number 1. Will require the caution flag. Where competitors will draw for starting positions, and we'll have to tell you more about that because we're ready to get it back to green flag racing now as Flagman Eddie Walsh points to turn 4, asks the drivers to hold it even. Green is out. Dave Bath with the advantage from the pole position. Chris Rule quickly drops to the inside, followed by Pelton in the number 27. Cars stacked up as the number 10 had a little trouble getting underway at the start. Ed Strong right over the top of turns number 1 and 2. Fire the car. He is uncertain. Evidently unable to refire the car as he continues to sit there. And that will bring out the caution flag once again. Dave Bath and Chris Rule bring him to turn 4, and the green is up. Advantage to Dave Bath from the pole position. Chris Rule on the outside. Richard Pelton to the inside. Steve Howard and Jim Emerson round out the top 5. Russ Johnson returns from pit road. Chris Rule trying to take it over, but the caution flag comes out as he makes a bid to the outside. We have a car up against the sandbanking. Word from the safety crew is that Tim Maloney indicates that he is okay. The number 69 off the top of turn number 1. Gary Clough off over turn number 3. "26 laps recorded on the leaderboard of this 35-lap fall finale. Forest City Chevrolet Super Sportsman Series. Flagman points to turn number 4. Dave Bath, Chris Rule bring them to turn 4, and they're underway. Dave Bath with the advantage as they cross the line and race to turn number 1. Chris Rule draws it even on the backstretch. They go to turn 3 side by side. They come to turn 4. Chris Rule with a slight advantage. And across the stripe, Dave Bath puts the bumper ahead. Dave Bath in the number 5. Chris Rule in the 14. Richard Pelton in the 27. Steve Howard in the 03. And Jim Emerson in the number 2, your top 5. Tangle into turn 1. As the number 94 gets the car twisted around sideways, back underway, the field state. Dave Bath continues to show the way in his number 5. Gets sideways now. What a tough break for Dave Bath in the number 5 as the car gets sideways. Chris Rule now in the point position with all kinds of pressure from Steve Howard. They have broken away from the rest of the pack. Jim Emerson goes 3rd, Richard Pelton is 4th, and Dave Sprague 5th. Working in lap number 32 now of this 35-lap event. Steve Howard now with a bid to the outside of race leader Chris Rule. Flagman indicates it will be just 2 laps to go when they cross the stripe for this next time. Chris Rule looking for his 3rd feature win in this Super Sportsman division. Had 2 wins early on in the season. Will now have to hold off hard-charging Steve Howard in the 03. The 19 on a pit road as the white flag comes out. Chris Rule continues to hold off Steve Howard. Checkered flag is down. Chris Rule, Steve Howard, Richard Pelton, Jim Emerson, and Dave Sprague, your top 5. Fall finale for the Super Sportsman division. And Chris Rule finds his way to the winner's circle. For the 3rd time, and the last time was on May 16th, so it has been a long time for this afternoon's Super Sportsman feature winner. Also a fine run this afternoon by Steve Howard in the 03 and Richard Pelton in the number 27 as they collect the 2nd and 3rd place positions. Chris Rule back to return the colors to flagman Eddie Walsh. And in just a few moments we'll get to hear from this afternoon's Super Sportsman main event winner. As Chris Rule exits the 14, let's go trackside now to Andy Cusack.
Ladies and gentlemen, his 3rd win of the season. Welcome into victory lane, Chris Rule. It must feel good to be back, Chris. Congratulations. It was May the last time you were here.
Well, it's been a long time. I guess I can only win races when it's daytime out. Can't seem to see at night, I guess.
Not one of the nocturnal birds. What has been different with the car? Does it truly handle better during the day?
Well, maybe a little bit, but today it really wasn't going that good. I just got lucky. David spun out and got into some grease or something on the corner over there. just got lucky, I guess.
Well, it certainly is a nice ending toward the end of the season. You're not quite where you want to be in the point standings. Are you disappointed after a year of really heading for the championship and now looking like you may be back just as a top 5?
Yeah, I am pretty disappointed. You know, we've had an up and down year. It started out real good. You know, from then on, it just went sour every week. You get wrecked, crash, tires go flat, something, you know, real bad luck. And I'm hoping it's going to change the next couple of weeks.
Change today, and let's hope that it works for you for next year and carries over. We congratulate you. Your first place trophy today. Congratulations, Chris.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank some of my sponsors, Fisher Snowplow, JR Repair Service, Griffin Motorsports. They build me a hell of a good car. B&G Speed Shop, they build me a good motor. You know, it's been real strong all year. Hasn't skipped a beat yet. You know, everybody else, Lamprons Collision Center, Main Battery, Scarborough Sports Center. I've got quite a few sponsors, but I'd like to thank everybody, all the fans for coming and supporting me. And we'll see you all next week, hopefully.
You've done them well today. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Rule.
In row 6, car number 40, Dwayne Lanphier, and the 0 of Brent Dragon. Phil Scott in car number 14. The 86 is Dennis Demers. Car number 16, Jeff LeCaire from East Montpelier, Vermont. Outside LeCaire, the 92 of Chris Durkee. Mark Graves in the 47. The 42 is Tony Poisson. Mark Lanphier in car number 49. The 77 is Tom Tiller. Rupert Irwin in car number 69. The 46 is Doug Hoare. Richard Bootsy in car number 13. The 2 is Norm Andrews. In car number 21, Reggie Roy in the Ford Thunderbird. Outside, in the 71, Lester Armel. Dennis Alderman in the 34, the 6 of Bill Markham. Dave Gibbs, and at the rear, Danny Bridges as the field goes green. Segment 1, underway for the late model Sportsman. Down the back chute, they sort it out. Steve Miller in the 00. 57, Jim Barton, and on the outside, here comes David Whitcomb. The 25 flying up the outside as Jim Silly pulls it down to the inside of the 68. Silly in trouble, taking it down and going to the back of the pack. Jim Silly, one of the top point drivers on the late model Sportsman Tour, going all the way to the rear. He'll look to limp it on the pit road. Steve Miller in the 00 out to the early lead. Puts a lap on the Dan Bridges automobile. 57, Jim Barton is second. Third to the 25 of Dave Whitcomb. Fourth is George Bissett. Fifth, the 27 of Greg Blake. Lansford 06, the 05, Jay Perantoni in seventh. Eighth is Brent Dragon. Ninth is Dennis Demers. 10th is the 14 of Phil Scott. The 40 of Dwayne Lanphier showing some smoke, maybe dropping some fluid once again. Officials will take a look at it this time around. Looks like a wheel bearing may be going on the right front corner of the Lanphier car. Dwayne Lanphier going backwards in a hurry now. Steve Miller across the line with a big lead now in the 00. Martin is second, Whitcomb third, Greg Blake in fourth, fifth is George Bissett. A good afternoon so far for the rookie Jay Perantoni. He runs 6 in the 05. 7th, the 86 of Dennis Demers. 8th on the inside, Phil Scott. Lansford 09th, Brent Dragon in the 0 now, cracking the top 10. Brent Dragon, the second generation driver, defending International Series champion, moving up as Jay Perantoni gets shuffled high in the back chute. Perantoni going backwards now. Jay Perantoni pushing way high on the racetrack. quarter track in hand. 57, Jimmy Martin is second. Third is the 27 of Blake. Then Phil Scott and Dennis Demers. Best battle on the racetrack right now for third, fourth, and fifth place. 27 Blake. 14 Scott. 86 Dennis Demers. Phil Scott gets inside. Look out, they tangle. Scott and Blake in trouble down to the inside. And turn number 4 as the field makes its way by. Third and fourth place automobiles tangled up down on the inside of the turn, and the yellow flag is out. First caution flag of the afternoon here in segment 1 for the late Model Sportsman, as Greg Blake and Phil Scott get tangled up battling for the number 3 position. Moved on to stock cars about 5 years ago, and since then has proven himself to be a very fine racer in his own right. Former International Series champion, Dragon on the outside of row 2 as we get set to restart. Down to the stripe they come. Green flag is out, and Steve Miller immediately jumps to the lead. 00 Miller away with the point. 57 Barton in second. Side by side for third. Dennis Demers and Brent Dragon on the outside. One car down on the inside of turn number 2. It's Reggie Roy in the 21 machine. Here come the leaders. They'll make their way around as the yellow flag flies. So once again, they will back it down and realign. Lights are down on the pace car. We're ready to go to a restart. Once again, 17 laps are complete, 8 remaining in segment 1. Miller and Barton in row 1. Dennis Demers and Brent Dragon, the lapped car of Dennis Alderman, then the 5th place automobile, 25, Dave Whitcomb, green flag. Once again, it's Miller away on the inside. Look out, Jimmy Martin in the face of the field goes around. Piling it up on the back chute. Multi-car jam on the back straightaway. Brent Dragon, I believe, is in it. Dragon in the 0 is piled up. The 69 of Rupert Irwin. Nowhere to go as the track was blocked on the outside. Rupert Irwin is out of car 69. He does not like what he sees. That's a tough break for the youngster from Waterbury, Vermont. Friday night at Barrie, Vermont's Thunder Road, he tagged the wall nearly head-on, coming down for the checkered flag in the main event. Getting the 69 back together to make the trip here to the Beech Ridge Motor Speedway. Unfortunately, the young man they call the Flipper is torn up on the back chute. Jay Parentoni's car number 05 is also in the pits. The word from the back straightaway, all the involved drivers are out of the cars and okay. Row 2, the lap car of Dennis Alderman. Then on the outside, the 25 of Dave Whitcomb. Whitcomb is the 3rd place automobile. 4th on the outside is Lance Furno in the 31, then Red Mead and George Bissett. Here they come to the line. Green is out, and we're back racing. Steve Miller in the 00 once again drives away with the lead on the back straightaway. Dennis Demers falls back in line in second. 25, Whitcomb is third. Now up on the outside, Lance Furno. The lap car pushing high. They go 3 deep on the front straightaway. George Bissett takes advantage in the 39. Drives underneath the lap car, underneath Furno, as they battle now for the number 4 position. Bissett down on the inside. The Connecticut driver, Lance Furno, up high, fights him off. 31, Furno takes 4th back. Bissett in the 39 is 5th. 6th is Red Mead in the 1. 7th, 49 Mark Lanfear. Tom Tiller is 8th. Doug Hoare, the 46 is 9th. 10th is the 75 of Pete Fecto. Out of the back of the pack, 27 and 14, Greg Blake and Phil Scott beginning to make their way back into it. Laps are winding down in segment number 1. Steve Miller has opened it up to 2 car lengths. Now over Demers in the 86. Dave Whitcomb all alone in 3rd. Furno in the 31, 4th. The battle for 5th. On the inside, Red Mead moving. 2 laps to go next time. And Red Mead in car number 1 has taken over the 5 spot. 2 to go now for Steve Miller. Mark Lanphier in the 49, trying to pick it up. He fights his way to the inside of George Cusack. Lanphier goes to the number 6 spot. Bassett is 7th. 8th is Tiller. Doug Hoare 9th. White flag is out with 1 to go. 1 lap remaining in segment number 1. It has been all Steve Miller. Miller in the 00, down to the inside of turn 3. Checkered flag is out. Segment 1 to Steve Miller. Dennis Demers is 2nd. Dave Whitcomb 3rd. Lance Furno, Red Mead, Mark Lanphier. Then George Bassett, Doug Hoare, Tom Tiller, and Greg Blake. Wire to wire at the front of the pack. Steve Miller in the 00 will carry the checkered flag. And the job now is half done for the 2-time Airborne Raceway champion. Ladies and gentlemen, coming down in victory lane to receive the checkered flag, a round of applause for the County Tire, Citgo, Pontiac, Steve Miller of New Haven, Vermont. Well, that was the easy half. For the win, Steve Miller will credit 1 point in the overall standings, and he will start dead last in segment number 2. 2nd spot to the 86, Dennis Demers. He will get 2 points, and he will start on the inside of Miller in the final row for the main event. So Steve Miller, 2 for 2 this afternoon, with wins in the semi-feature and the main event. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, a nice Beech Ridge Motor Speedway round of applause. Steve Miller, the 00, your winner.
And making his first appearance in 1992 in the number 14 from Scarborough, Mike Grovo. Also joining the lineup, a former track champion here at the Beech Ridge Motor Speedway from Barrington, New Hampshire, in the number 50, Bobby Gahan. 35 laps on tap. The fall finale for the late Model Sportsman. Mulch looking for a start at turn 4, and they're underway. Scott Watch Mike Mayetta go side by side down to turn 1. Side by side at turn 2, and on the backstretch, Mayetta puts a fender ahead down into turn 3. Here comes Scott Watts right back at turn 4. Sideways out of turn 4. Mayetta with the advantage as they cross the stripe. Side-by-side battle continues at the front. Former modified competitor from Seabrook, New Hampshire, Scott Watts in the F80. 1991 Rookie of the Year, Mike Mayetta Jr. in the number 3. Then comes Bobby Babb in the number 4. Joe Bowser in the 32. Barry Babb in the 0. Paul Johnson in the 35. They quickly coming onto the slower car of Craig Strout. Drivers have to shift over into the 2nd and 3rd grooves. Tough for those cars on the outside as they get way out wide. Barry Babb has to take it right out over the stripe. Finds himself riding 3 wide through turns 1 to turn 2. Just had to back out of it and lose some positions in the process. Mike Mayetta Jr. takes it over, followed by Bobby Babb, Joe Bowser, Paul Johnson, as they shuffle Scott Watts back to the 5th place position. Now Gary Pulsifer dives beneath the F80, challenging for that 5th place position. Will take it over as they cross the stripe, working lap number 7. Cars in lap number 7 of this 35-lap late model event. Mike Mayetta looking for his 2nd main event in 1992. Bobby Babb looking for his 1st late model feature event for 92. Young Mayetta continues to show the way. All kinds of pressure from Bobby Babb in the number 4. Joe Bowser goes 3rd. Paul Johnson up to position number 4. Gary Pulsifer goes 5th in the number 41. Paul Johnson on the move now as he takes it to the outside of Joe Bowser. Joe Bowser taking a look beneath the number 4 of Babb. Couldn't find the room. Continues in a side-by-side battle for third with Paul Johnson. Now Bowser into the side of Babb, and Babb is around. Drivers do a nice job of avoiding the 4 and the 32. Is right here at the Beech Ridge Motor Speedway as far as competition from the tracks that they compete at. They have had their hands full with the Beech Ridge regulars. At turn 4, ready to start. Green is out. Got Mike Mayetta, takes it over once again from the pole. Paul Johnson goes to second from the outside. Gary Pulsifer is third. Glenn Cusack on the move as he draws it up to the outside to challenge Pulsifer for that third place position. Bob Randall up to challenge Mike Mayetta Sr. now for that 5th place position. They go at it side by side. Mike Mayetta with a lot of pressure from veteran Paul Johnson. Then comes Glenn Cusack solidly in third. Gary Pulsifer is fourth with a lot of pressure from Bob Randall at his back bumper. Mike Mayetta Sr. to the outside. Then comes Mike Johnson and Bobby Gahan, followed by Barry Babb and Tim Land, your top 10. Fine job by the youngster in the number 3 as he continues to hold the point over Paul Johnson. Flagman Eddie Walsh indicates they are coming to the halfway point this time by. Glenn Cusack now with some pressure for Paul Johnson in that runner-up position as Glenn Cusack in the number 2 goes to the outside of the number 35. Battle is for second. Mike Mayetta Jr. turning the track in approximately 15.6 seconds and may soon have Glenn Cusack at his back bumper. The number 2 has been running very strong the last 3 race meets or so. Second to Mike Johnson last week in the main event. Finds his way around Paul Johnson now. We'll get a watch on the number 2 as he now looks to rein in race leader Mike Mayetta Jr. Glenn Cusack also at 15.6, so we have first and second place cars turning just about identical time. Mike Johnson now dives beneath Mike Mayetta Sr. They go side by side, racing for position number 5. Mike Johnson, Mike Mayetta continue side-by-side battle for the 5th place position. Glenn Cusack continues at the back bumper of young Mike Mayetta. Cusack up from the 11th starting position to run 2nd. Leaders have to deal with the slower car now of Rick Furnett. Flagman indicates it will be just 5 to go next time by. Spin by Dave Bath in the 0-1, and he gets it back right up over the top of turn 4. Gets the car back underway, and we stay green. Continues to be Mike Mayetta Jr. with a rather comfortable lead now over Glenn Cusack. Then comes Paul Johnson in 3rd. Mike Johnson works to the outside of Bob Rendell for the 4th place position. We'll take a look to the outside of Paul Johnson in the number 35. Starting Eddie Walsh indicates just 2 laps to go. Mike Johnson on the move with a flurry. 2 to go as he works now out and around Glenn Cusack in the number 2. Time winding down. Young Mike Mayetta will have to deal with a slower car of Craig Stroud. He moves to the outside of the number 7. White flag is down, 1 lap to go. Mike Mayetta Jr., your leader, followed now by current point leader and destined to be the 1992 track champion, Mike Johnson. Checkered flag is out. Mike Mayetta Jr. in the number 3 gets the car out of shape, almost sideways across the line. Takes his 2nd main event of the 1992 season, followed by the young man who will be crowned the 92 track champion, Mike Johnson, in the number 33 rather. The number 2, Glenn Cusack, finishing 3rd. Bob Randall in the 44 finishes 4th. And Mike Mayetta Sr. in the 5th place position. Okay, we have a vehicle that must be moved. It is a black Ford, New Hampshire, license 864H. And race car number 94. Those vehicles must be moved. Black Ford, New Hampshire, 864H. And car number 94. Those vehicles must be moved. And as Mike Mayetta Jr. returns the colors to flagman Eddie Walsh in just a few moments, we'll have an opportunity to hear from the youngster as he captures his 2nd late model sportsman main event for 1992. Up and coming young driver, his crew chief, Barry Meserve. Car is sponsored in part by Mayetta Construction. Let's go trackside now to Andy Cusack.
Ladies and gentlemen, it was just about a year ago that this young man picked up his first late model sportsman win. Welcome him back in a year later, Mike Mayetta Jr. Mike, congratulations. Easy street for you today.
Well, it really was an easy street. And that heat, I was running 2nd, and something really went wrong with the car. We didn't make the feature lineup in time, but they gave us a spot. We was in there till the feature. Had the car completely apart. Barry Meserve, Sean Farwell, and all them guys did a great job. I got to thank Robbie Mayetta, my uncle. He's done excellent. My father and his crew, they've been right there. And I just got engaged yesterday, and I won tonight. What a way to go, huh?
Quite a celebration. Congratulations. You know, all year you've been right up front. You've had a tied finish with Glenn Cusack for the win a number of weeks ago, but you've been right there, but you just haven't had what it takes. What's different about the car today?
Well, they wrecked the car in the course tour race, and I imagine a lot of people saw that, and it was pretty bad. And we just been struggling to get it together, you know, and the car is just right there today. It was perfect. I can't say enough about Barry Meserve, you know, Steve Roman and my whole crew, and my girlfriend Michelle and my mother. And, I mean, they're all wicked supportive, my grandparents. It's just a wicked effort from everybody.
We congratulate you on a fine win today, the first place trophy for you, which will be a very special one with your engagement. We congratulate you, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you, Andy.
Ladies and gentlemen, a nice round of applause for Mike Maeda Jr. on a very special day. Bruce Elder, back to you.
All right, waiting on deck at the turn 3 pit exit, the Limited Sportsman for their 35-lap main event for the afternoon. Fall finale for the Limited Sportsman. Next on the grid from Scarborough, the number 12, driven by Tim Gendron. Then from Westbrook, the 82, Chuck Wilby. Next on the grid, the number 83 from Kennebunk, Donnie Whitten. And from Wyndham, the number 79, Wayne Poland. The 08 from Hollis, Whitey Meserve. And the 49 from Hollis, Ron Smith. The number 34, Ryan Shepard. And the number 28, Jeff Severance. The number 6, Billy Thompson. The number 70, Jeff Morgan. The 88, Mike Field. The number 7, Steve Berry. The 06, Dennis Quinn. Getting a quick start out of turn number 4. Charland sideways and turned about right in front of the field. And they're going nowhere in this first lap with a flying start. They decided to race over in turn number 3. And that's the result. Steve Berry in the number 7 sits at the entrance to the infield pit road with evidently a problem on the number 7. He now takes the car onto the infield pit road. We look for a start at turn 4, and they're under green. Keith Lovejoy and Bob Tote will door handle across the stripe down into turn number 1. Keith Lovejoy with the advantage on the backstretch. Jackie Roussel in the number 19 brings it up now to challenge Bob Doak for that runner-up position. Kurt Bean is in 4th. Gary Adams up to 5th. Keith Lovejoy, rookie in the division, jumps out to about a 10-car length lead over Bob Doak, and Doak has all kinds of pressure now from Jackie Roussel in the number 19. They get sideways through turn number 4. Kurt Bean on the move on the outside as he works to the outside of the number 19. Gary Adams sits in that 5th place position. Keith Lovejoy by himself at the front. Bob Doak is second. 3-way battle shaping up for the 3rd place position. Gary Adams up the inside takes it over as he gets beneath the 19 of Jackie Roussel. Kurt Bean battling to stay in that top 5, gets together with a couple of cars, first with a 19, then with a 58. They get hooked together. The 42 and the 58 hooked together. Trying to get those cars separated. They finally get them apart, but not before they are at the tail end of the lineup. Battle is for second. Gary Adams working to the outside of Bob Doak in the number 33. They go side by side through turns 4. Adams with the advantage as they cross the stripe. Black flag out to the number 7 of Steve Berry, as he will take the car onto pit road. Tough break for the young rookie who has had an outstanding season. As I mentioned, just a couple of points out of 4 points out of the top 10 coming into today. Tangle in turn 2. Billy Thompson turned about. Back end of the car with some heavy damage. Flat tire on the number 30 of Kent McLeod as he is headed to pit road. Heavy damage also to the left front of the number 56 of Robert Bodwell. Ten laps recorded on the leaderboard. Keith Lovejoy, Gary Adams will bring the field to a start out of turn number 4. Green is out. Keith Lovejoy with the advantage from the low side. Bob Doak, Gary Adams go at it for position number 2. Advantage to Adams on the outside. Then comes Chuck Willoughby. Bob Doak right back, not wanting to let go of that runner-up spot if he can help it. Takes it over again from the inside. A hard run up the inside pays off for Bob Doak, but Gary Adams not going to give it up from the outside. They continue to battle. Chuck Willoughby comes to 4th in the number 82. Wayne Poland to 5th. On the move, Donnie Whitten in the number 83. Tangle on the backstretch as we have a car right up on the backstretch wall. Jackie Roussel has a wheel off the car. Takes the number 19 right up onto the wall. That will put the field under caution once again. The limited sportsman drivers managed to get just 3 laps from the last restart. And once again, caution prevails over the limited sportsman field. Current point leader Pee Wee Knight takes the 111 on a pit road. Looking for a start at turn 4, and the green is out. Keith Lovejoy once again from the pole. Gary Adams right up to challenge Bob Doak once again for that runner-up position. They go at it wheel to wheel for position number 2. Chuck Willoughby races to 4th. Donnie Whitten and Jeff Morgan side by side for that 5th position. Dennis Hall looking to close that point lead held by Pee Wee Knight. As he is up knocking on the door of the top 10 already. Sitting in approximately the 13th position right now in the number 94. Dennis Hall looking to close the gap on current point leader Pee Wee Knight. They are coming to the halfway point, indicates flagman Eddie Walsh. Continues to be Keith Lovejoy showing the way in the 03. Gary Adams second. Chuck Willoughby, Wayne Poland, Donnie Whitten, your top 5. Effective. Way off the pace in the number 78. Wayne Poland works beneath the number 82 of Chuck Willoughby, takes over the 3rd place position, drops Willoughby back to a side-by-side battle with Gordon Nelson for position number 4. Nelson will take that over and bring in tow Donnie Morse in the number 75 as the inside Lane gets the advantage. Gary Adams, little by little, closing the gap between himself and race leader Keith Lovejoy. Gordon Nelson now going to mount a challenge for that third place position as he works to the outside of Wayne Poland in the number 79. Battle shaping up for the third place position, held by Wayne Poland in the 79, but he has all kinds of pressure from Gordon Nelson to the outside and Donnie Morse from the inside. They will have to deal with the 78 of Dave Fecto, and Fecto moves over just a little bit to let Gordon Nelson through. Four-way battle shaping up for the third place position. Held by Wayne Poland, but he has a mirror full of Donnie Morse, Dave Langlis, and Gordon Nelson. Spin on the backstretch. We have a car spun to the inside coming out of turn 2 on the backstretch. Looks like the 58. Paul Holstrom gets the car refired, gets it back underway before the leaders approach. Continues to be Keith Lovejoy, Gary Adams. Then comes Wayne Poland, Gordon Nelson, Donnie Morse, Dave Langlis, Dennis Hall, Mike Field, Danny Bubar, Jeff Morgan, and Donnie Whitten. Lightman indicates it will be just 5 to go when they cross the stripe next time around. Working lap number 30. Be 30 down and 5 to go. Keith Lovejoy continues with about an 8-car length lead over Gary Adams in the 74, and Adams has a comfortable lead over Wayne Poland. Then that side-by-side battle continues. Gordon Nelson in the number 61, Donnie Morse battle for the 4th place position. Spin over in turn number 4. Bob Doak gets the number 33 spun around, and that will bring out the caution flag as Doak is unable to refire the number 33 in time, and the field will go under caution once again. Once again, Keith Lovejoy will have to square off on the front line with Gary Adams. Looking for a start out of turn 4. Green is out. As they come to the line, Keith Lovejoy with about a half-car length advantage over Gary Adams. Adams hung on the outside. Wayne Poland going to challenge on the inside and take over that 2nd place position. Up the inside comes Donnie Morse as the inside lane takes an advantage. Gary Adams comes out on the short end of that restart as he now finds himself hung on the outside. 2 laps to go as they cross the stripe this time. Continues to be Keith Lovejoy. Wayne Poland is 2nd. Spin into turn number 1, Gordon Nelson. Something broke on the number 61, and a lot of liquid is put down. And in the process, several other cars involved there, among them the 94 Dennis Hall, the 08 Whitey Reserve, the number 6 Billy Thompson, the 82 Chuck Willoughby, the number 50 Alan Burraby. As they say, it isn't over till it's over. Flagman Eddie Walsh gives the drivers the all clear. The pace car will make its way onto the infield pit road. Inside road jumps out, and with it, Keith Lovejoy quickly back to the advantage. Donnie Morse finds room beneath the 0-3 and tries to fill that space, can't quite do it. White flag will be in the air as they exit turn number 4. Lovejoy gets turned about right in front of the field. Somehow, the number 50 goes between the wall and those two cars. Got to have some right side damage. Caution and the check it will finish this one as the cars come across the stripe. And what a wild finish and a tough break for Keith Lovejoy as he led the bulk of that main event, only to find himself turned about. And down to collect the checkered flag from position 3 up to the win, Donnie Morse. Finishing in the runner-up position, Wayne Poland in the number 79 from Wyndham. And in third, Mike Field in the number 88. As they survive a wild finish. And capturing his second Limited Sportsman main of the 1992 season out of Wyndham, Maine, driving the Ray's Auto Parts. Number 75 now returning the flag to Flagman Eddie Walsh, Donnie Morse. He quickly exits the car, and we will go trackside for a chance to hear from Donnie Morse.
Don, nice job today. Kind of advantageous for you with a couple laps to go. What'd you see behind the 03?
I don't know. You got loose coming out and just happened to be the right spot, right time.
Had you in your mind prepared to just settle for second today?
Well, I was hoping for a win, but I would have settled for second.
Well, you didn't have to. You had to pick up first today, and we congratulate you. The first place trophy you'll take home for you and put on the mantle. Congratulations, Donnie.
Thank you very much. I want to thank everybody that's helped me this year. My crew, friends. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't be here.
Thanks, Don. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, Donnie Morse. One race to go. The American Canadian Tour late model sportsman cars. Bruce.
25 laps at the rear. Red Mead in the 1. The 31 of Lance Furneaux. Dave Whitcomb in the 25. 86 Dennis Demers, and starting dead last, the 00, Steve Miller. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the overall finish, the overall victory will go to the driver with the fewest total points when we add up the finishes from the two segments. In the event of a tie, the first tiebreaker is total laps complete. The second tiebreaker is the man who finishes best here in segment number 2. Here we go. Dwayne Lanphier and Danny Bridges at the front of the pack. The high point man at the rear as the green flag flies. Side-by-side drag race down the back straightaway. Lanphier down on the inside. The 40 pulls away with it. Dan Bridges in the 9 gathers it up. They bump and grind in the back of the pack. Couple of cars out of shape. Steve Miller losing ground to the 00. Dwayne Lanphier in the 40. The 9 of Danny Bridges, and on the outside, Brent Dragon. Dragon, the former international champion, torn up in segment number 1, but they have got it back together. Dragon now is third on the field. Dropping back to fourth, the 68 of Jim Silling. Fifth spot right now. 97, David Gibbs. Then on the outside, Norm Andrews. The high point drivers beginning to move out of the back of the pack. 77, Tom Tiller moving well on the inside. George Bassett in the 39. The 46, Brian Hoare came in with a 20-point lead in the International Series standings as he begins to thread his way out of the back. Steve Miller is around. Miller has broken the car, and he is in the wall. Caution flag as Steve Miller pounds the wall in the back straightaway. Steve Miller, it appears, may have broken a wheel on the back end of the County Tire Pontiac. Does a quick 180 and slides hard into the concrete, and Miller's afternoon is over in the 00. A tough break indeed for the veteran from New Haven, Vermont. Miller, who dominated the field in the semi-feature and in segment number 1, now apparently sees his hopes for the overall championship go out the window on only the second lap of the finale. And Miller now has opened the door for his pursuers. Dennis Demers, Dave Whitcomb, Lance Furno, Red Mead. Now see the first segment winner going up on the record. Restart lineup being arranged. They'll go back to the last complete green flag lap. Dwayne Lanphier, Dan Bridges, Brent Dragon, the top 3. Once again, none of those 3 drivers in contention for the overall championship as they start out front due to a poor finish in segment number 1. The players for the overall title come about halfway through. The 77 of Tom Tiller finished 9th in segment number 1. He's about halfway through the field right now. George Bissett in the 39, 6th place finisher, also moving well. Brian Hoare in the 46, 86 Dennis Demers. Now will try and take his turn in the driver's seat. Demers in the blue and white, car number 86, 2nd place finisher in segment number 1. Has made some good progress here in the early going. Once again, if you're new to this International Series, it is the combined finish that pays the points this afternoon. The driver with the best overall finish at the end of the day will earn the championship. As Steve Miller, minus the left rear corner on the Suntan Sam's Pontiac, will get the lift back to the garage area. That is a tough break for the 2-time Airborne Raceway champion. Bridges on the outside, then Dragon and Jim Silly down to the stripe, green flag. Down the back straightaway, they stack it up 3 deep. Dwayne Lanphier in the 40, down to the inside, regains the lead, right behind is Brent Dragon. Dragon in the 0 moving up. Dennis Demers in the 86 getting shuffled backwards. The runner-up in segment number 1 trying to make some ground on the outside. Down low, Brent Dragon takes over the runner-up position. 68, Jim Silly on the inside for 3rd. We got trouble in turn 4. Bill Barkham is around in car number 6. Barkham trying to refire, can't do it. We've got a yellow flag. Caution on the field as the field scatters down to the inside in turn 4. Bill Barkham, car number 6, refires. Lanphier on the inside, Brent Dragon on the outside, Dan Bridges and Jim Silly, Dave Gibbs and Norm Andrews. Here they come to the stripe, the green is out and they're racing. Lanphier down low, puts the 40 back on the point. Dragon in the 0, trying to fill the hole for 2nd. Dan Bridges in the 9, then Jim Silly and on the inside. 97, Dave Gibbs moving. Tom Tiller in the 77, moving well on the outside. Tiller in the 77, 9th place finisher in segment 1. Right now running 9th in segment 2. Tiller on his way to a good afternoon as he continues to move through the field. George Bissett in the 39, Red Mead in the 1, then Lance Furno, Dave Whitcomb making their way up the outside line. The High Point drivers beginning to move now. Dwayne Lanphier, Brent Dragon, Danny Bridges, and Jim Silly hold the top 4 spots as they hit the line. Dave Gibbs is 5th, being challenged on the outside by the 14 of Phil Scott. Scott on the outside, right behind him the 77 Tom Tiller. The Ford Thunderbirds nose to nose at the line. Phil Scott the 11th place finisher in segment 1, now up to 5th on the field. 6th is the 97 Dave Gibbs. Chris Durkee 7th. Tiller is 8th. Norm Andrews in 9th, and the 75 Pete Becto. Dave Whitcomb in the 25. Third place finisher in segment 1, trying to break his way into the top 12 now. Field sorts it out 3 wide out of turn 2. Whitcomb fills the hole, goes up the middle, and gains the spot in the back chute. Whitcomb in the 25 up to the number 12 position, and he goes after Jeff LeCaire. Whitcomb on the outside, looking to take over 11th place. In 10th, the 39 of George Bissett. The High Point drivers having a tough time coming from the rear in this one. Out in front, Dwayne Lanphier, car number 40, puts lap 16 on the board. Dragon second, Bridges third, then Jim Silly and Phil Scott. Tiller on the outside is 6th now. Tom Tiller in the number 6 position after a 9th place finish in the opener. If it ended now, would tally 15 points and be among the overall leaders. George Bissett, dirt tracking the 39 out of the back of the pack as he moves around Peter Fecto. 25, Dave Whitcomb, not far behind on the back straightaway. Greg Blake in the 27, moving under Jeff LeCaire. Right behind him, the 86 of Dennis Demers. Lap traffic now coming into play for your leader. Dwayne Lanphier around the Lester Armel 71 machine. Lanphier on the outside holds the lead. Dragon still second. Bridges and Silly. Next time by, it'll be 5 laps to go. 5 to go for Dwayne Lanphier, and this is going to be anybody's ball game for the overall championship. The up front finishers in segment 1 having a devil of a time coming out of the pack in 2. And this is going to come down to mathematics. 77 Tiller may be in the running. 39 George Bissett, 25 Dave Whitcomb. Laps are winding down with 2 to go. Unofficially, it may be the 25 of Dave Whitcomb, the overall winner right now. Whitcomb came home 3rd in the opener. Look out, trouble in turn 4. Phil Scott and Dan Bridges tangle. Yellow flag will bunch him up. Dan Bridges in car number 9 and the 14 of Phil Scott getting together. Once again, Scott battling for a position in the top 5, getting tangled up. And with 3 laps remaining, the field goes under caution. Second time this afternoon, smoke showing out of the Dan Bridges car. They changed the rear end and the transmission just prior to feature time to get the big redhead into this one, but it may have come unglued once again. Steve Miller is back on the racetrack in car number 00 despite some severe rear end damage on that Pontiac. He may be looking to take it back onto pit road. Dwayne Lanphier, your segment leader, he is not a factor in the overall. Second place automobile is the 0 of Brent Dragon. Third is 68 Jim Silly. Fourth now is the 77 of Tom Tiller. 3 laps to go. The championship on the line for the first ever visit by the ACT Late Model Sportsman here to the Beech Ridge Motor Speedway. Pace cars coming in. We're set to get it done. Here they come down to the stripe. Green flag, and we're back underway. inside, picks up another spot on the back chute. Checkered flag is coming out. Segment number 2 will go to Dwayne Lanfear, tangle on the back chute. Lanfear wins it, a photo finish for second, crashing on the back straightaway, and I believe Dave Whitcomb held on to get the overall. Brian Hoare, the international point leader, piled up on the backstretch of the final lap along with David Gibbs. In third, the 39 of George Bissett. Second, the 86, Dennis Demers. And ladies and gentlemen, your International Series point winner for the American-Canadian Tour Late Model Sportsman, 25, David Whitcomb. George, come on up here. We'll do third place first. And congratulations, a good run.
Thank you very much. The car wasn't at its best, but it just looked out, lap traffic when we worked at it and kept our, in the right spot at the right time.
First of all, what do you think of this racetrack?
Oh, it's a great racetrack. This will make it my 11th racetrack I raced on, and never won any championships, but we have a lot of fun.
You're pretty close here today. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for your third place man, George Bissett, car number 39. Well, he'll take second in the overall today, but he gave it a pretty good run there on the final restart. The 86 of Dennis Demers, ladies and gentlemen, he gets second. Dennis, congratulations. Got a little wild there at the finish, 3 and 4 wide all the way around.
Yeah, I did. There was a slow car, a couple of slow cars actually there, and we had to kind of weasel our way up through the middle. And, actually, I didn't even know the race was over. I thought there was some confrontation over there. That's why they were pulling us over. But it turned out well. The car went good. We got boxed in a couple of times, but we're awfully pleased to be here at second.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dennis Demers, second in the overall in the 86 car. And ladies and gentlemen, the mathematics tells us that we do have ourselves a winner. The 25, Dave Whitcomb from Essex Junction, Vermont. David, congratulations. I heard you pull down here in victory lane. The first thing you said was who won. That's part of the fun of these segment deals.
Yeah, it sure is. It was really a good time out there today. We changed the car a little bit for the second one, and it went really well. It was really lucky. Just kind of stumbled right onto it.
Final lap, sir. You were 3 wide a couple of times. Had to kind of push it up the middle. It looked like it was a little hairy out there.
Well, I wanted to get around those lap guys, because I knew if I didn't, Dennis was gonna, or George, everybody, we were all right there, so just trying to keep up with George.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Dave.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for your overall winner? Car number 25, the Turbo Blue Oldsmobile from Essex Junction, Vermont, Dave Whitcomb. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you very much for coming out. And Bruce, if I may, let me just take a moment on behalf of all of these late model sportsman drivers. We thank you very much for coming out. You've been a great audience and very receptive hosts. And our thanks to the Cusack family for another great day here at the Beech Ridge Motor Speedway. And we hope to see you all back here next Sunday afternoon for the Stego Auto Parts 200. Bruce, back to you.
Okay, Dave. And with that, we round out our afternoon of racing. And as always, we're glad that you chose to spend your afternoon right here at the Beech Ridge Motor Speedway. As always, if you'd like to stay around for a bit, the pit gate the main gate will be opened up in just a few moments, and you'll have the opportunity to go out on the track and talk with some of the drivers. As you notice, quite a few of the teams do bring their